So first off, I want to wish you all a great morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you watch this video, because it can vary depending on time zones. I hope whatever you guys set out to do today, you accomplish, and you're able to achieve it, and you either have a really good relaxing day, or you have a day that you just get everything out of the way that you wanted to set out to do probably for a while. I just hope that you all are having a fantastic day, and I greatly appreciate you guys taking some time out of your day to click on this video and to watch my said content. I really appreciate all of you. And I wanted to kind of start this off right before I go any further, because obviously, I know there's a lot of you out there that maybe the first thing you do might be to wake up and watch some YouTube videos. You might have saw my video in your feed, and I appreciate you guys clicking on it. Thank you. I really do. So, with that being said, let's talk about a few things. First off, I'm going to have this video probably pre-recorded. Like, I'm recording this, on a middle of a Wednesday and all that, and the time you guys see this video, it's probably going to be on Friday morning. And the reason for that is because, well, the Elden Ring DLC. I'm just gonna be blunt. I haven't tried to hide it. I'm a big Elden Ring fan. I'm a big From Software fan. I played all the Dark Souls games. And with the new DLC, Shadow of the Erdtree, coming out, I wanted to pre-prep these videos, or this video in particular, for the day to be the scheduled upload, where I could just focus entirely on Elden Ring that day. So, yeah, if any of you are playing Elden Ring today, let me know your build in the comments. I'm curious. What are you guys, playing? Are you being a mage? You being a strength boy, dexterity boy? You using blood builds? Let me know in the comments below. But, anyways, let's dive into why you clicked on this video, and that is ReZero. So, I just want to say that this video is going to contain a lot of spoilers. So, like, straight up, if you are an anime only, or you are a web novel, light novel reader that isn't up to date, or, you don't want to be spoiled, do not watch this video, because I'm going to be talking about the latest chapter, the final chapter in specific, of Arc 8, and also content from Arc 7, potentially maybe other stuff, all that type of stuff. So if you don't want to be spoiled whatsoever, I do recommend to stop the video here, and I do wish you a great day. I really do. Now, with the disclaimer out of the way, let's just dive headfirst into it. Curtains close. Priscilla. The last chapter of Arc 8. Boy, I was not ready for this chapter. I was not ready for what I was about to read when this came out a few days back. And the chapter, for the most part, before anything, like, if you're not spoiled, you don't know what's coming and all that, this chapter is a very uplifting and happy chapter that focuses on Priscilla. It's literally a chapter named after her. And the chapter has Subaru in tow, following behind her, listening to what she's saying, helping her out, adding in comments when necessary. And it's very strange, because obviously the last chapter didn't end with Subaru with Priscilla like this. And it's just like, why is Subaru following Priscilla? And it's just a very happy chapter, though, because, Priscilla's meeting everybody. She's talking with Rim. She's talking, obviously, with Subaru. Talking with, just, like, Emilia, Anastasia. She's talking with a lot of our main important figures, the main cast, so to speak. And it's just like, wow, this is just a very happy-go-lucky chapter, because obviously going into this, it's like the finale of Arc 8. And it might set up events to come maybe for Arc 9, which it definitely does. But for the most part, you're led on to believe, like, wow, this is just a very happy chapter, with Priscilla as the focus. It's like, okay, makes sense. We've had some focus chapters on the other candidates, like, Crush or Anastasia, so it makes sense to have Priscilla have a kind of a spotlight chapter. So as it continues, eventually night arrives, and Priscilla goes on top of a wall with Subaru. And Al is there, and they decide to basically get drunk. And they drink the night away, and Priscilla and Al dance together and all that. And then you see, like, Subaru singing a song for them, and even if he isn't good with it, he's singing, and I can't wait to hear that in the anime. It's going to be fabulous. But the point of the matter is that Subaru basically just straight up starts to sing for them and dancing and all that throughout the entire night until basically the sun starts to rise, starts to rise, basically, it's sunrise. And as this happens, Subaru and Al realize that Priscilla becomes see-through. And it's legitimately such a shocking moment, because the fact that she is acting all nice and fine and then starts to disappear is such a jaw-dropping and emotional moment, because characters within ReZero die. I think anyone that's made it into 8 arcs of content of ReZero knows that, yeah, you pretty much have the entire cast of ReZero die, okay? They all do at one point or another. And it's the permadeaths. When a permadeath happens, that's when things get real emotional, because, you know, deaths really do matter, and when they really do matter is when it's a permadeath. And Priscilla, at the end here, with the ending of, you know, chapter, like this chapter of Arc 8, it is a permadeath, and Subaru can't fix this. It's not fixable. And even if it was fixable, Priscilla herself stops it. Even if Al is just straight up begging her and all that, you know, straight up saying, like, please, like, Subaru, you know, save her and all that, please do something, Priscilla's like, no, don't, stop it, and all that. And then when she reveals that she is aware of his authority, that's what really hits. It hits emotionally, because it's not the first time we've seen characters become aware of, like, you know, Subaru's return by death to a degree. I mean, Echidna is a good example of this, but we could also assume Rosewall, you know, I mean, we know Rosewall knows, he just doesn't know exactly how it works. We know that Betty, you know, Beatrice probably knows a little bit about it as well, and other characters within the story. That there is definitely some suspicions around Subaru and how he's able to basically change fate to his whim. And someone like Priscilla, that is obviously not dumb by any means, someone that is very intelligent, has proven time and time again to be very, very intelligent, and, you know, she's constantly hanging around someone like Al, I think it speaks for herself that she would have suspicions and start to understand that maybe Subaru is very similar to Al. And because of that little ordeal, I think is what probably led her to believe about Subaru's ability of return by death. She straight up mentions that they're authorities and that they're able to change fate itself, so she's very well aware that they're able to go back in time to some degree, most likely through death itself. Because, I mean, even in this chapter, Subaru was about to plunge straight off the wall, the castle wall. Like, he was about to just completely jump off the wall, and that's wild. And they saw it. Al saw it, Priscilla saw it. Even if it was maybe a guesswork, Subaru's reaction alone confirmed it. Even if it was guesswork to that very point, Subaru reacting like he did, and Al did, confirmed everything. And obviously, Subaru couldn't refute or anything, because obviously, you know, he doesn't want to activate Satala. So, just, the whole situation was very emotional, because people finding out about Subaru's ability is a very big moment for the story, because obviously Subaru's able to finally shed off some of the layers that he's put on with trying to hide his pain and suffering that he's constantly put himself through. And Priscilla mentioning, like, she is very well aware of the sacrifices and how much they've had to die just to get to this point is a very emotional moment. And she basically makes it very clear, it's like, I know for a fact you guys have done so many things in this world that nobody's truly ever thanked you for properly, and can never fully understand what you go through and how much you sacrifice to be here and to have the people around you to be here. And Priscilla's like, I want to be that one to say thank you, and you have done good work. And when she straight up says that Subaru is a true knight, that really made me start to cry up. Like, I teared and started crying, because I was like, holy crap, this Priscilla, this person that has just called Subaru a commoner or a clown, a jester, etc., straight up calling him an actual knight, is words that really do matter. It's heavy words, very big words that were placed on Subaru's shoulders. And it wasn't just Subaru, also Al got, recognized as well for his sacrifices too. Priscilla pushes aside this giant ego and all that, and she just straight up is blunt to all of them. She's like, what better way to congratulate those that have suffered so much than someone that is like myself, basically a perfect being, and someone where the world was basically meant for me and all that. And it just, her words carry a lot of weight, and it's basically her using her very prestige and how she feels about herself and all that to basically say, what I'm saying to you means more than anything in this world. Like, the world is truly beautiful, henceforth the world is made for my convenience. This is what she literally says before she fully disappears, and it's just like, she's saying, thanks to, you guys is why I'm here. You guys were convenient for me, and I'm congratulating you for that. It's super beautiful. I love everything about this chapter. The conclusion of Priscilla harbors a lot of weight, but it doesn't just stop there. Obviously, with this major sacrifice, I mean, you can see the character here, Al. Al obviously is shedding and crying like a baby throughout this chapter, for good reason. He respects and obviously loves Priscilla, and you can clearly see by the chapter he would just straight up marry her. He would definitely become her husband if he could. Like, he straight up would. And I think that this chapter is very emotional, because he's pretty much basically losing the equivalent of Emilia. Like, for instance, like, you switch the situation here, and let's say we put Subaru in Al's shoes and Al in Subaru's shoes. Pretty much the equivalent of Priscilla is Emilia in Subaru's eyes, like, or Al, or whatever. And the point is that imagine if Subaru was there, holding the person he loves, like Emilia, and was told that she was going to die, and there's nothing he can do, and there is no resetting it. Like, they can't save Priscilla. She is now perma-gone, or save Emilia. Like, imagine that emotion that Subaru would feel if he realized he fully could not save Emilia, and she was now permanently gone from the world. That would break him. It would straight up break him. So, Al's current mind is definitely up in the air and in question on what he's going to do after this, because obviously there's going to be some resentment. Especially when he's sitting there begging Subaru, please do something, you know there's going to be some resentment. Even if Priscilla basically said, no, she doesn't want to be saved, it doesn't mean that Al wants to listen. He doesn't want to listen to her, that's what he even said. And so he's going to put all this anger and emotion at others. And in this case, most likely at Subaru, which leads into the next post that Ice himself actually talked about. So, there is some big details here about her that Ice here actually commented on, and I'm just gonna point it out. So there is basically an added chapter at the end of the current volume, or you know, the current arc and all that. And it basically gives us some details about Al and his connection with Echidna. But to basically kind of make a long story short, the biggest detail you can get out of this is that Al is potentially becoming an antagonist. He's becoming a rival or an enemy to Subaru, because it's like even Ice here points it out, like the Natsuki Subaru's name in kanji, meaning his intended reading is more like Natsuki Subaru messed up. It's basically saying that Al is going to be blaming Subaru for what happened to Priscilla, or anything that's technically happened now in the story. So Al, being who he is, and obviously there's still a lot of mysteries around him, Al straight up might be a foe in Arc 9 or onward. Like, straight up. Like, he's clearly aware of Subaru's return by death. Oh, he's definitely aware of it. And, once again, even if he wasn't, this latest stuff definitely confirms it. And now, with all this being known, he's probably going to try to go after Subaru. And how's Subaru going to fight someone that basically has a bootleg version of Return by Death? Al's ability might not be as good as Return by Death to a degree, but even then, it's still able to go back. And if Al's able to do that, Subaru and Al could be stuck in a deadlock permanently, forever. So it's just like, yeah. I legitimately do not know what would happen if those two actually straight up fought. Like, I don't even know. And so the latest stuff that's, Tappei setting up here is that Al is going to be an enemy. Now, speaking of setup, I gotta talk about this foreshadowing here. This is a illustration that came out a while ago for Priscilla, and in the background, obviously, is the capital, from Arc 7 and Arc 8. And, at first glance, this is a normal illustration. You don't notice much. But this came out a while ago, FYI. But then when you take a look at the bottom right, you'll notice that there is some see-through elements of Priscilla's dress, and even her leg as well. And then when you factor in the current events, like the latest stuff from, the last chapter, Tappei foreshadowed. He straight up foreshadowed what was going to happen to Priscilla a while ago, which is wild, because FYI, Arc 7 and 8 was not planned. Like, I want to make sure I state this. Tappei went on record, recently, actually, to say that Arc 7 and 8 was not actually planned when he started writing the novel and all that. It was not something intended. He wasn't expecting to go down this path with the story, but he wrote it. And obviously, it's here, it's set in stone. And Arc 7 and 8's easily become one of my favorite moments of the entire story of ReZero. So, it's interesting that he was able to cook such a story and, you know, he didn't pre-plan this. This was just something that came out of nowhere. It's pretty interesting. I do like what he's done. I think that he's definitely learned a lot from, like, Arc 5 and how to handle action segments, etc., and shift the narrative to other characters, and even how to explain Return by Death without fully seeing every single death from Subaru. He's definitely improved his writing and did different little tactics and little narrative choices throughout these 2 arcs that I really appreciate, and I feel like it'll be nice to see in anime format when one day we do get here. But, yeah, the foreshadowing is absolutely wild. But overall, if I wanted to talk about Arc 8, you know, getting into the nitty-gritty of it, it has been absolutely fantastic. There's still a lot of questions and things that, you know, I still think need to be answered, like certain connections with characters, etc. I'd like to see maybe, like, the Cloud Dragon, more about them and all that. But overall, I think that in terms of Arc 7 and 8, it has been a nice little detour outside the kingdom and other things, and focusing on another main character like Vincent for a while. It's been very enjoyable. I really have enjoyed this arc quite a bit, and I especially love the antagonist of this arc basically being, you know, Sphinx, you know, basically a bootleg Echidna as well. So, I don't know, I really love the undead theme and everything about it. It's crazy. Honestly, I figured that this arc would go on longer, but it's only 75 chapters, so yeah, that's also very wild. I figured it might make it to like 90 or 100, but nope, that's definitely not the case. How long was, Arc 6, actually? Let me take a look here, because I believe Arc 6 was pretty freaking long, wasn't it? Man, oh, holy crap. Okay, here's Arc 6. Arc 6 was 90 chapters. I could have swore it was longer, but, still. It's sad to see Priscilla go. What a send-off for a character. Is she permanently dead? Most likely. I mean, for, you know, Tappei to literally put this little moment here at the end, basically saying she's dropped out, the first to drop out, it implies that there's going to be more to drop out. So, let's hope he doesn't kill off the, you know, Anastasia or Crush, but, we'll see where that one goes. But, okay, everybody, thank you for watching the video. I greatly appreciate it. Be safe, stay healthy. Chibi out.